Welcome to Baraton TV, here and hereafter. We have a guest today with us, and he will tell us his name. What's your name, brother?
My name is Aggrey Lihanda.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
We are happy to have you at Baraton TV studio. Where do you come from in this great Republic of Kenya?
I come from Vihiga County in Sabatia.
Vihiga County, Sabatia.
But I'm based in Nakuru.
Okay. Where do you work in Nakuru?
I work at Kabarak University.
Yes.
I'm a lecturer in economics.
Okay.
Yes.
So could you tell us, there could be one of our viewers who wishes to be, would we call you an economist?
Yes.
Yeah. So there could be somebody who wishes to be an economist. Tell us your journey to being an economist from secondary school through university. Maybe just briefly.
The journey, I got interested in economics in 1976 when I was doing my fourth form. And actually performed so well. Those years I got Division 1.
Wow.
Yes, and I joined Kakamega High School for my A-levels.
Okay.
1977 and 1978.
Yes.
Before proceeding to University of Nairobi.
Yes.
To start my undergraduate studies.
In economics?
Initially, first year was a BA in economics,
yes,
sociology and government, which is now political science.
Okay.
Then I started specializing. Towards third year, I was now specializing in economics.
In economics?
Yes.
Then you proceeded to do a master's?
In fact, during third year, of course, we were supposed to graduate in 1982.
Yes.
But those of you are aware, in 1982 there was a coup attempt.
Yeah, August 1st.
Yes, and we were sent away for 7 months. We were reporting the chiefs on Mondays and Fridays.
Yeah.
So you were away. We came back in 83 and completed in July.
Okay.
But I remember during our third year, we were challenged. A class of about 180, we were challenged that the top 5 will get scholarships.
Okay.
So I told myself, I'll work so hard to be among the 5. And actually, I was among the 5, and I was sponsored by the German Academic Exchange Program.
Oh, you are
yes, called DAD.
Yeah, and DAD is still sponsoring people.
It's still sponsoring people, yes.
D-double-A-D.
Yeah, Dushi Academy. I don't remember the other AD.
Now, Prof, when you say you worked very hard, there are people who need to work hard. What does this working hard entail?
You know, there are many aspects of working hard. In fact, you should be working smart. Because everybody has 24 hours. Whether you are the president, or the cabinet secretary, or the governor.
You have 24 hours.
Or the night runner.
Yes.
Everybody has 24 hours.
24 hours.
So how you make use, even like, for example, the university community here.
Yes.
You're assuming you have 8 hours of studies, lectures, and 8 hours of sleeping. That's 16 hours.
Yes.
So you have another 8 hours.
Yes.
How do you spend the other 8 hours?
That's
because
if
everybody has 16 hours, then how you spend the other 8 hours will determine whether you succeed or fail in life. And also the attitude.
So what did you do in these extra 8 hours that put you among the top 5 and you ended up with a scholarship that was enviable?
I actually removed what I thought were like luxuries, spending a lot of time going to the stadium, sometimes parking and so on. I decided to dedicate
luxuries out.
Luxuries out.
And
then you also sit with value-adding people.
Sit with value-adding people.
They are also
not idlers.
The flip side is value-depleting people.
So there are people who add value, others deplete value.
Friends work like the pump. This pump ya kuweka pumzi kwa mpira ama tire.
Yes.
If the washer is facing down,
it
will be taking air into the bladder.
Yes.
But if the washer is facing up, you'll press it, and the more you pull, the more the air
pulls out.
It pulls out. So there's some value-adding friends, and you also have value-depleting friends.
And so that means after this, I'm going to look at my phone book where my
You look at reflect on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
When I sit with the doctor, how much do I gain from him? How much do I contribute to that?
Am I gaining or losing?
Is that group developing, allowing for the development of synergies? Where synergy means if you are in a group, then the output from the group discussion, for example, would be bigger than if you started individually.
Okay.
So,
that's good.
So I got the challenge, and I was in a class of we were in a class of 8 for our masters.
For the masters.
Yes, a class of 8.
You remember some of the great guys you went to school with?
Yes, I remember some of the guys who were within for the masters class.
Yes.
There is Professor Wino. There is the late Kere. There is Professor Nganda. Professor Nganda works with the WHO in Harare. There is Dr. Patrick Njoroge, the governor of Central Bank.
Central Bank. You were in the same class?
Same class for 2 years for our masters.
Wow.
Yes. So we graduated in 1985, which is 34 years back.
34 years back.
Yes.
I will not say many things about my 34 years back, so that we don't say 34 years.
Yes. But then after that, of course, after graduation, I worked with the Minister of Planning for about 1 hour.
Ministry of Planning, 1 hour.
I worked there for 1 hour. Because at the time when they were deploying economists to other ministries to head the development planning divisions of other ministries.
Yes.
So I just stood in some reception. And as I was waiting for my letter of deployment, so I was deployed on secondment to Ministry of Cooperative Development as a planning officer. So I was actually interested for 1 hour to pick my letter of deployment. Yes, so I joined the Ministry of Cooperative Development, Kencom House, and after 6 months I was sent to Nyanza province as the provincial cooperative planning officer.
Wow.
In 1985.
Now, what interrupted this journey? Because it seems it began so well, and probably today we should be looking at CS finance or something. Or you could even be governor. Something must have happened.
Well, something happened. But when I reflect back, I don't think I have any regrets.
Okay.
Yeah, because along the way, you have a young man who is in his teens and he's a provincial head in charge of four districts. And there is a driver there and so on. So there is that element of
trappings.
Yes, all the trappings. You are a provincial head and so on. So there is the bit of socializing. Of course, I had socialized earlier on with alcohol in 1976. After my 4th form, I was employed by Umia Sugar Company. Yeah, and by then life was interesting because I was earning 50 bob a month. As
50 shillings, that's almost $50.
And the basic was 424 shillings. But then here was cheap. With a pound, you'd take out your girlfriend. Because you'd get 16 beers plus some change for jukebox.
So you started drinking in 1976 as you were
experimenting.
Experimenting.
In fact, the point is that for you to become whatever you're addicted to, you start by experimenting. Then eventually it becomes instrumental. Like, for example, if you take beer, you taste beer for the first time and you feel bad in a nice way. But it's like you want to vomit, but there's someone saying it's not a bad idea. If lie, that kind of feeling is what's trying again. So basically, I'm saying that
what you are saying here is that the journey to being a serious alcoholic begins with simple experimenting.
Not necessarily simple with an alcoholic. The journey to addiction.
Oh, the journey
because
to addiction.
Basically, I would say everybody's an addict.
Okay.
Everybody's an addict because you're defining an addict as somebody who is enslaved to a habit.
Okay. That's
somebody who is enslaved to a habit. Somebody who has a craving. Somebody who will continue doing that thing in spite of the negative consequences. For example, if somebody becomes mwizi sugu, alianza na kuiba mayai.
Yes.
Then progresses to the producer of the mayai, the chicken. Then after that, you want to steal something bigger than chicken, which is the cock. Then you now move from the feathered animals
to the four-legged.
To the four-legged, but with the smallest, maybe a rabbit.
Yes.
Then you graduate up to maybe an elephant.
You become a cattle rustler.
Kabisa.
So the journey
If
to
somebody,
addiction to alcohol.
even football addiction,
Yes.
you'll start by watching these village teams, and you graduate to the district level, then the national.
Before you reach
Before
international
you reach the English Premier League,
So
where you even know the players in an English Premier League more than the coach.
That's why I'm thinking that maybe what you are telling me is that for me to watch my addictions, I should watch the habits I'm developing every day.
Yes.
It is a journey.
It is something. Remember, an addict is somebody who is enslaved to habit.
Yes.
There are people who are enslaved to even social media.
Yes.
This student is in class, na amesahau kwamba ako lecture.
They must just look.
They must just look.
Whatever happens, they must just
even
look.
if you send them notes, I send my students in Kabarak notes in soft copy.
Yes.
But they will still come to class with the what do you call this?
Mobile phone.
Mobile phone, the smartphone, and they're checking the notes. I tell them, but I'm the one who produced those notes.
Yeah.
Why don't you switch off your phones and pay attention?
Addiction.
There are people addicted to work.
Yeah.
There are some people
they can't leave the office.
Yeah, there are some people even addicted to sending out memos to people. There are some people who are even addicted. There are some people who are addicted to religion.
Yes.
They are fanatical.
They can't just let go, even when it doesn't make sense.
I'm not talking about salvation.
Yes.
I'm talking about religion.
Yes.
Yes. And getting very funny titles. Basically, and you know everybody, why we don't see ourselves as addicts?
Yeah.
It's because of the issue of pointing fingers at others.
Yeah.
And my point is this, that if you point at somebody and say, wewe ni mwizi, then this one is telling you, wewe mwizi mara tatu, and God is the witness.
And the other one is pointing up.
Remember, an addict would be in denial. Some people are addicted to food. Some people are addicted to food. And you want to see free drama where you have self-service. You just check and say, okay, this person, how does he manage to combine rice with goat?
You just look at the plate when they are serving themselves.
Yes.
You look at the plate, you wonder is he eating alone or is there a committee coming to eat with him?
There's food.
Rice.
Some people are even addicted to lies.
Lying.
Yes.
Even when there is no reason.
Even some people even addicted to lying to the parents. Like students would cheat that hata kuna wimbo fulani ya bongo imesema mwanafunzi anaambia mzazi nimepoteza Facebook, nataka 20,000, nimepoteza kuna Bluetooth replacement. Mzazi anafikiria ni jino kutoka kungolewa dentist. These are imaginary trips. Imaginary trips to nowhere. And
I've listened to that song where the student is telling the father, the teacher wants us to buy Facebook. It's expensive.
And by the way, you know, some students can be addicted to staying around here. To
staying in the university.
They don't want to graduate.
Yeah, the moment they are closer to graduation,
it's like you go for a BA, a Bachelor of Arts, and you end up with BBA, Bachelor of Being Around. You see, somebody's here 20 semesters down the line, and it's like it's normal. I have a concept called a normal abnormality.
Yes.
You internalize so much that it becomes even normal.
Wow.
So to an addict, it's very normal to get drunk. That's why you say you are drunk when you are sober, and you're sober when you are drunk.
So tell us.
It's normal to squander fees. It's normal to squander your salary. It's normal to go to the extent of kuku imelalia mayai, unatoa mayai, ama unabeba kuku kuenda kuuza na unaacha mayai. It's normal. Because like alcohol addiction impairs the brain.
Because what I've discovered is because I work with student services.
Yes.
I've discovered that a student who engages in theft must have something to do with the drug abuse.
Let me tell you this, that substance abuse is a lifestyle. You need money to maintain the lifestyle. Yes. Yeah. If you have exhausted your pocket money,
you look at the resources around, lying around.
An addict, like say for example, an addict of alcoholic, an alcoholic would always want to quantify everything around in terms of the Changa equivalent. So if you visit your house, you think the guy is admiring your house. Kombe is looking at that stool, that miwani, in terms of
looking at things around your house, saying, that can be 3 glasses.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that picture frame can go. We can drink that the whole weekend.
And the other thing to bear in mind is that, like for alcohol and bangi, there's impairment of the brain. Impairment of the brain. That is why an alcoholic would be doing things opposite of what normal people do. A normal person would be arriving home with a paper bag in the evening
to give the children.
Yes, but an alcoholic would be leaving the homestead with a paper bag of mayai, misumari to go and take to Mama Pima. Mama Pima accepts everything.
Yeah, to convert into alcohol.
Yes. And a bank smoke, it affects the brain, because if I crack a joke like now, you are laughing because instantaneously. But a bank smoker, because of delayed processing,
they laugh later.
Will laugh later at 6 hours later on. As you say, what are you laughing at? Jamaa kamera kametubamba kabisa na joke. You see? So you can imagine such a student who is a bank smoker sitting for an exam on a Friday.
Then he starts laughing at
he's not laughing. Yeah. He's seeing the exam like mathematics, wondering pi r squared, where did I meet it? Pi d, where did I meet it? The only thing you can remember is the registration number.
Yes.
Now these answers will be trickling in on a Sunday.
After the exam.
After the exam, 2 days after the exam. You cannot move.
No, now I understand because why some people laugh by themselves later on.
If you want to see the impairment of it, that's why alcoholics are knocked by vehicles, because you're not able to estimate distance. Have you ever seen an alcoholic jumping a mtaro?
Yeah.
A mtaro of 1 foot, the man panua miguu, karibu 3 feet. You know, it's because you cannot estimate in terms of optics. Yeah? Impairment. Yeah. You simplify things, you pick a bid when I change of weather. You even go sociocultural. That a wife is supposed to be beaten once in a while. You rationalize.
And now I understand.
There's rationalization. Like for me, when I was in addiction, there were times I would not bathe. And as an economist, I would say, okay, hata nikifika jioni sitakuwa nimechafuka. So why waste the soap now? So that is rationalizing.
Instead of bathing in the morning, you say, why waste the soap when I can bathe in the evening?
No, why waste the soap? Because nitakuja kama nimechafuka. So hata nikinuka, uchafu ni wangu, nyumba ni yangu. And at the end of it, I've not even invited you to my house. You can stay in your house. So you want to justify. Rationalization takes this form that, for example, if you are told that if you use a condom, then it minimizes the probability of getting STDs.
Yes.
A rationalizer would look for questions whose answers are favorable to that person. For example, unauliza, if I have to eat a ripe banana, do I eat with the peeling? Of course, I remove it. So you score 1 out of 1. If I have to eat eclairs or ice cream, do I eat with the wrapper? I remove the wrapper. So you score 2 out of 2. If I have to bathe or take a shower, do I bathe with the clothes on? Of course, I remove them. So you score 3 out of 3. So unajiambia, therefore, in view of the above, there is no need of using a condom, because you see, you are looking for excuses. You know, eventually you not use it, but you want to convince your mind.
Yes.
Yes. A rationalizer, somebody will say, we kwenda ringa na hii whiskey yako uko na pesa mingi.
Yes.
Mimi niko na pesa kidogo, I'll drink my busa. But when we meet in the evening, we are staggering. There's no staggering for whiskey. There's no staggering for busa.
All staggering.
You'll always look for something to justify a behavior.
Now tell us about your life in addiction and how you came out, so that at least we leave our viewer encouraged that there is...
Now, for me, of course, like I said, it says as experimental. You're a young man, and of course, you're ignorant. At the same time, you want curiosity. And by the way, the human brain is sometimes the behavior shows that we are born to go against the grain. For example, what are you like to do if you are told hakuna ruhusa kuangalia jikoni? What are you like to do? You look, even if the door opens a bit, you want to see what is it that I'm being stopped from.
What is coming from that?
What would you do if you are told keep off the grass? Even if the punishment is you have to buy barbed wire or something like that.
You will walk on the grass.
What would you do if you are told wet paint?
You touch to confirm.
You see wet paint, you touch to confirm.
Is it really wet?
And then you'd find on that notice of wet paint, there are so many fingerprints there.
They are trying to clean.
Yes. Not to clean, to confirm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the nature, you want to experiment. Umeambiwa ni mbaya, but you're saying, okay, ni mbaya kivipi? I can afford it. So experiment, and then, okay, as you experiment, you are building capacity or resistance. You start with half a bottle that makes you feel bad nicely and nice badly. Then you graduate to 1 full bottle of Tusker. Then you go to, there's a time I used to take 16 beers at a go, and I say, okay, now I want to start drinking. Now I switch to Napoleon. You see, now you become like a 4-wheel drive in alcohol consumption. So as you graduate to higher levels of consumption, of course, that is affecting the pocket, financially speaking.
So
it's
what
also
are
affecting
the
your
greatest damages you went through in addiction? Things that you say, these really cost me.
Now, first and foremost, I damaged my body. Given that the body is the God's temple, the kind of imbibing of alcohol and cigarette really adulterated the body. 2, I damaged my finances. 3, of course, as an economist, you're saying for everything you do, there is an opportunity cost.
Yes.
There's something forgone.
Yeah, there's something you forgo.
And there is like I had this funny behavior that I cannot go home until the money is over, even if I have 20,000. Even if it means sleeping, say sitting there for 3 or 4 days. So of course finances were affected. That means that how much would that money or how much would it have bought? Whatever I didn't buy. Look at also the relationship. Relationship in the family, the relationship in marriage. Mtoto amefukuzwa, you have the capacity, but your priority, an addict, your priority is that.
Is the substance.
The substance. If it is kabang, you want to see how many sticks can you buy with this man. So, and reputation, because remember I remember at one time I became the village roundabout. That means by 7 in the morning, I'm asleep somewhere on the road, and people think that I'm dead, but the villagers say, masaa zake za kuamuka bado. You see, that kind of image I was projecting as to society was not very good. Yeah, but eventually it affects your work. You get some warnings, but eventually you lose the job. You lose a relationship. You lose a reputation.
And even your relationship with God.
And because you're already a slave to that drink, you look for rationalization. You might say, I was bewitched, or this woman doesn't want me, or she's stressing me. I'm looking for a way out.
You look for an excuse.
You look for an excuse because you're in denial. You don't want to
blame their parents.
Yes. Others blame their neighbors, that the neighbors has bewitched, the neighbors have bewitched them. Witchcraft. Or somebody will even say, it is genetic. I come from a family of... everyone drinks. It's something you come a relay. Yeah, so how I came out of it is one day, everybody has a turning point. For those of you who have read the Bible, you know the story of Saul. Saul, on his way,
the apostle.
On his way, Saul.
To Damascus.
Yes, to persecute. And he was struck by a bolt of lightning. That was his turning point. When he was blind for 3 days and he had a voice.
Yes.
Yeah. So everybody has a turning. For me, it was the turning point was when I drank changa and I walked for 20 kilometers in Nakuru looking for my house.
That became your turning point.
Yeah, I walked.
You couldn't find your house.
Up to Salga, from Nakuru town, past Sobea, past Ngata Gate, Ngata Bridge.
I know.
Up to 4 a.m. That's when I asked a security guy, watchman, hapa ni wapi? Kaniambia hapa ni Salga. Ulikuwa naenda wapi? Nikamwambia naenda Ugilgei. Ugilgei iko wapi? Naambia iko karibu na Lodejiton Castle. Told me you're 20 kilometers away.
Wow.
4 in the morning. So when it really dawned on me that, look, people are knocked during the day kama wamekunywa chai. And so somebody who has never taken alcohol or whatever is knocked by a vehicle. Na mimi nimelewa, nimetembea kwa barabara without any side road. God must have had a purpose in my life. Because he said there are many dangerous things happening.
God
there are
saved
vehicles.
your life.
I realized
a very busy highway.
A very busy highway.
The northern corridor.
And I had even graduated, by the way, as a lecturer in the university. By the way, I was sacked from Maseno University after 11 years of teaching.
Because of alcohol.
Yes. And I interfered with my family. I was jobless for 5 years. from 2001 to 2006.
Wow.
Alcohol has no respect for anybody.
And it doesn't respect anything in your life.
When you go to select meat in a butchery, you choose the best.
Yes.
So the devil also chooses the best. Because here you're talking about somebody who got Division 1 in Chavakari, somebody who got upper second class honors in economics, somebody who got MA in economics, but ended up selling his bed. I was sacked from Maseno. So for 5 years, I went down the drain until eventually I saw an advert and applied.
And you know, the reason why we do this is to let somebody who is watching not to walk this path. Because it's a path that you begin believing you are in control.
You know, it's surprising that you tell somebody, I drank for 32 years.
Yeah.
And went down the drain up rock bottom at my friends who are like pace setters. Like, you remember the pace setters of Kipchoge?
Yeah.
My friends helped me to the rehab. And then somebody says, I've only drank for 2 years. I still have 30 years. It doesn't work like that. The fact that God gave me a second chance in the rehab does not mean you'll get a second chance.
Also get a second chance.
The fact that America took 200 years to develop does not mean that we have to take 200 years to develop. We can borrow from there and be able to modify to suit like the newly industrialized countries, like South Korea. They didn't go the long way of America. They borrowed from America and they are now almost like second world countries.
So how long did you stay in the rehab?
In fact, before going to the rehab, I want to say this, that the people end up in a rehab in various ways. One, there are those who go to rehabs out of their own choice, like I did. I said I'm going to drink for the last time, which I did on 12th of February 2012.
Okay.
By the time my colleague was arriving at my house at 9 a.m., I had drunk enough to sustain me forever. So I told myself I'm going to drink for the last time.
And you drank for the last time?
I drank for the last time on 12th of February 2012.
To date?
To date.
Glory to God.
And then the other thing I did, I told myself, when I get to the rehab, I'm not going there with my titles.
Yes.
Because titles never help me.
That's true.
Whether I have MA or BA or PhD or whatever I am, I'm going there as somebody who had reached rock bottom and I need a second chance from God. I'm going to plead with God to give me a second chance. So I left my titles at the gate of the rehab and entered the rehab with the humility. Because remember now, I was going to the dormitory for the first time after 30 years.
Into a dorm.
And I even met my students of Kabarak University in the rehab. Our lecturers, sir, welcome. I told them, no, now, today, we are going to reverse roles.
Yes.
You'll be my lecturers because you're ahead of me now.
Yes.
So I went there with a lot of humility and I remember doing whatever every client was supposed to do. Cleaning toilets, washing, cleaning the dormitories and so on. So at times I would even split firewood just to keep fit. Yeah, but of course the hardest time is normally when you experience withdrawals, syndrome, hallucinations and so on. But I came, God enabled me to come out of that. And I was in the rehab for 90 days.
90 days, that's 3 months straight.
Yes, I did quite a lot of things while there. I was even elected the chairman of all the clients. I was writing project proposals for the rehab. And incidentally, I was in Eldoret, Haven Recovery Center.
Yes.
So by the time I was graduating in May of 2012, the university had been getting reports about my progress in the rehab. And it was very nice because within 48 hours after graduation, I was reemployed.
Wow.
Back to Kabarak. Prior to that, I had been almost like persona non grata. This person should never step here. He's a disgrace to the university because of my drinking.
Yes.
But I thank God because within 48 hours, I was a new creature.
Second chance.
The university saw a new creature in me, and that's why I was reemployed. But of course, I lost the fringe benefits that I would have accrued to me during the 1 year that I was on zero salary. Yeah. So I see myself as a beneficiary of rehabilitation, and the rehab taught me to have a positive attitude. I want just to say, positive attitude is very, very important in whatever you do, whether it's reading, whether it is studies, or whether it's marriage, whether it's work, wherever you are. Have a positive attitude. You look at the word like wife, W-I-F-E. When my marriage was interfered with during my addiction, because I had a negative attitude towards everything and everybody, including myself, I took wife to mean worries increased forever.
Worries increased forever.
But through the transformation in the rehab, the same word wife to me means welfare improves forever. You can see the word is the same.
The same word, but the attitude.
The attitude
how
is,
you look at it.
Yes, how you look at it is different. I also find, I really appreciate the second chance that God gave me. And I have role models. When I look at what Paul did as the former persecutor of Christians, who also had a turning point.
Yes.
He ended up writing 13 books out of 27 in the New Testament. You can see how many people has Paul touched or reached. All the cities he went to up to now.
2,000 years now.
Yes, 2,000 years now. So I believe God, the same attitude means that whatever I went through, I don't have any regrets. It was training me to be somebody to inspire others. Because when I give a testimony, I'm giving a testimony out of my heart, not something I've Googled or whatever. Yes. When I went back to Kabarak, I remembered now Psalms 23. The Lord is my shepherd.
I shall not want.
And even verse 5 says what? That I shall lay a table
before your enemies.
Yes. Kwamba those who used to point fingers at you
God
and say that you are useless, they will not die until
they see your usefulness.
They see your usefulness.
Yeah.
And of course, God inspires us. We encourage.
Maybe what's the one last thing we would like to tell our viewers today? One last thing you want to tell them, because there are viewers now who are at different stages. There are those with the relatives and friends in addiction. There are those who are beginning the journey. There are those who are in the middle. There are those who feel they are at the rock bottom. What would you like to tell God's people who are watching us?
Addiction is a disease. And there is hope.
There is hope.
There is light at the end of the tunnel. And the way I see God, G-O-D, to me, God means gracious, omnipresent driver. When he's in the driving seat of your life, nothing will go wrong.
Amen.
Our God is a God of a second chance. And see, just like gold goes through fire, refinery, in life we don't face problems. A positive attitude would say what? We would say, I'm facing a challenge. Don't say problem, because challenges are supposed to be surmounted, but problems are supposed to keep us down there. Whatever we go through, let's have a positive attitude. If it's raining and it's too cold, let's get something positive out of that rain. Maybe there's water going to the tank. You'll get water nearby. You'll not need to spend money on. Let's get positive attitude. Positive.
There's always something positive.
Definitely. Even a coin has it's a coin.
Yes.
A coin cannot have one side.
No.
For it to be complete, you need the head and the tail. So in life we have heads and tails. So let us just learn to appreciate that with God in the driving seat. And I tell students, wherever I go, that even whatever degree program you are doing, make sure you add a BA.
Which is?
Born again.
Born again.
When you are born again, God will lift you up.
So don't just pursue the science, the humanities, education, health science. You need to add born again
without
Christ.
Look at Eliud Kipchoge.
Yes.
Kipchoge is so God-fearing.
Yes.
He has even disapproved science.
Yes.
The other day, they argue that you'll never go sub-2 until 2017. He said, no way. And he lived his dream. Let us just be.
And in 1 hour, 59 minutes, 40 seconds.
Yes.
And you know his home is not very far from here.
Yeah. How many people? There will be a multiplier effect. This hope that he has given us. And I want to tell society, please, let's not look at addicts as bad people or cursed people. Those are sick people who need help. Everybody needs help.
It's not witchcraft.
There are some people who are addicted to food.
Yeah. They need help.
The BMI, body mass index, will just shoot up.
Yeah.
Those are candidates for stroke. They need help.
They need help.
There are some people who are addicted to English Premier League. There are some people, even some ladies who are addicted to even Please Call Me. You know, it's an addiction.
They're just
Hata ukimtumia airtime ana flash kukushukuru. You know, that's an addiction. Everybody's an addict, let me tell you. But when you point a finger, look, when you point a finger, ask this, how many fingers are pointing at you?
Back.
3. And God is the witness.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
There is hope. If you can see light at the end of the tunnel, please move.
Yes.
Martin Luther King says, if you can't what? If you can't.
Oh, he says, if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk.
If you can't walk, crawl. So long as it's movement.
By all means,
keep moving.
Thank you so much, dear viewer. This is Baraton TV, here and hereafter. Once again, we had Brother Lihanda, a very senior lecturer at Kabarak University, visiting us at the University of Eastern Africa, Baraton, coming to address us on issues of substance abuse. Once again, welcome. We are very happy to see you, a very senior economist.
I'm humbled to be serving the Lord.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to be here, and this is the beginning of greater things. God bless you so much.
Thank you so much.
God bless Baraton.
Thank you, dear viewer. Baraton TV, here and here.